Good evening. My name is Jose Paulo Galang of Section 113 of HRM. This is for the finals requirement of purposive communication, in which we will be discussing disinformation in the Philippines. So let me start by telling you guys that Filipinos are one of the most digitally connected citizens. An average Filipino spends over 10 hours online every day, scrolling through Facebook, Twitter, shopping in Lazada or any e-commerce platforms, looking for blind dates even when it comes to Tinder and Telegram, no, the new platform for blind dates. Um, this puts Filipinos first place in the world when it comes to social media usage, no, internet usage, if you may say so. While we can be proud of this achievement, there is one very huge downside for this ranking, no, for this recognition of ours, and it's the rampant spread of disinformation, to which we call it fake news. Fake news when it comes to all social media arms, Facebook, Twitter, in every form of media, there are always fake news. No? Such reliance of Filipinos on social media makes us very vulnerable when it comes to disinformation. As we know, disinformation are false and erroneous information that is spread intentionally to hurt individuals, people, organizations, the environment, and even your family members, to which it has a very bad effect when it comes to the emotions of what we have, whether as an employee, as a family member, or a countryman. Everything really has a very, very negative effect when it comes to disinformation. To align with with this topic, let us equate disinformation when it comes to electoral politics here in the Philippines. Say for example, in 2016, the victory of President Duterte catapulted the surge of fake news in throwing every bit of false information to all candidates, whether national or local. This continued during the 2019 midterm elections, where apparently fake news had its way of helping the administration-backed candidates sweep the national positions. It is said that within the senatorial slate, that is why the party of President Duterte was almost swept all the positions. It's because of fake news. Um, Unfortunately, the Philippines does not have a very stringent law in combating these fake news, in stopping all the disinformation, whether during campaign or the actual elections. Um, our neighboring country, Thailand, has learned its lesson from numerous electoral periods. No, the Thai government put in place strict regulations, wherein it will be fining the candidate who use or spreads fake news 200,000 baht, and potential imprisonment when it is proven that you used fake news to win in electoral campaigns. No? So as a result, the Thai politicians refrain from the overuse of disinformation and misinformation in their campaigns. To which, if we compare within the Philippines, we do not have such strict regulations when it comes to fake news within elections. If one rich politician has all the funds, he can circumnavigate all the regulations just to achieve the mudslinging needed for a win in the elections. Well, one commonality between the Philippines and Thailand is the mobilization of influencers for micro campaigning. Since, you know, One of the major steps before in the earlier election is to get artists, to get stars from the movies in supporting you when it comes to campaign. Right now, those influencers, vloggers, and YouTube sensations are pretty much used for the support of campaign period. Um, uh, some of these influencers, offers some of standard rates when it comes to the payments of their exposure when it comes to campaign periods. This somewhat blurs the line between genuine support and paid content. Uh, that's one example also of disinformation. An initiative of a Filipino group, Filipino press and NGOs, launched Check.ph to curb the negative impact of fake news. Check.ph is a collaborative fact-checking project for the 2022 Philippines elections. It is an initiative of academia, media, and civil society to counter disinformation and provide the public with verified information. However, their narrow reach and inability to penetrate mainstream information channels limited effectiveness of fact-checking. Um, to end, and in conclusion, the Philippines and its government still has a long way to go when it comes to stopping and eradicating disinformation when it comes to elections. For as long as the current standards are continuously circled around by big names in politics, the presence of false tirades and fake news against political adversaries will remain and shall be a staple when it comes to campaign periods. Um, this disinformation within elections cannot be stopped unless we create a law that can totally eradicate the spreading of this fake news. I'm Jose Paulo Galang for this speech and like to thank you.